Hello, this is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. I'm just gonna set up my little iPad so I can see what's going on too and see the chat if and when people show up. Let's see here. Let's see here. Here we are. So let me get centered. I promised you all that I was gonna do my kale and my Swiss chard planting, and that is what I'm gonna do tonight. I did do it when I had time. So here we are. Let me get centered. Right here, I have kale and my Swiss chard. Hello, Tina Johnson. Hello, GT Junior. How you doing? So I have some soil here, right? And this is just up planting. What does it say? Swiss chard and black magic kale. Let me turn my volume down on this thing. So I have some soil here, right? So I don't have the playback. There we go. Hello, Netta's Nest. How are you doing this evening? I just got off with New Orleans Gardener. So I have my black magic kale and my Swiss chard planted in here. I planted them all at the same time, and I got about, I say a fourth, well, 1/3 done, and now I have to get these done. So in this pail that I got from Dollar Tree, so like a foot soap, I have my eggshells, and that's what I do. Somebody, who was it? Urban Chronicles. She thought I was smashing up something else. I smashed up my eggshells and I put it in my soil to help. Hello, Grown What I Eat. How are you doing? And Netta's Nest. I think I said something to Netta's Nest already. So I take my chicken's eggshells and I crush them up and I put them in the soil because that helps to give you extra nutrients in your soil. So if you see little brown things and little white things, that's what that is. I also put some blood meal in here because although these are not flowering plants, the blood meal sometimes helps with the brassicas. And the reason why I'm planting this is because the ones that I have out there, they're on year 2, so they're getting ready to go kaput on me. As a matter of fact, a couple of them have already passed. So we are just replenishing the stock. I like Swiss chard and black magic kale, so I'm gonna keep planting it until I have enough. So here's my soil. Y'all see the little white things in there? That's eggshell. So when you buy your little seedlings from the big box stores or from any store, they give you these little pots. Don't throw them out. Keep them. Keep them. If they're not falling apart, go ahead and keep them. I recycle almost everything. And when it falls apart, then I just throw it in the trash. But I've had these for a long time. So I'm going to keep my little thing here, but I know what this is. And so let's get some of these out of here. I do not eat at this table. I say this at every time I plan on this table. I tell people I don't use this dining room table for anything besides planning at this time in my life. So this is my plant table. I put some soil in here the last time I was repotting, and I got those planted over there at my grow station. Under the lights, and that's where these are gonna go. Right now, it's about, I say 72 degrees outside. It's not cold in Central Texas. But, however, do not, brassicas can take the cold. Do not let it fool you. Last year, we had the same thing happen, and we had another cold spurt. So that is what that just word to the wise. If you have tomatoes and you have other things that are not cold tolerant, do not put it out there. So I'm just knocking all this extra dirt off, and I don't care if I get this table dirty. I'll wipe it off. No big deal. And I'm gonna break off some of these plants because they are. Look at that. Let me get closer. Hello, my Renaissance grandma. How are you doing? Hello, Tina Johnson. How you doing? I didn't say hi already. So look at the roots on this thing. So we gotta shake some of this stuff off and shake it apart. And I'm not being rough with this. I'm just trying to get them apart so that I get them into manageable groups. So I'll put this right here until I'm ready for it. So I have a group of them right here, and I'm just shaking them to get all that extra soil off, right? And there we are. I have one down, one run right. Is that one? That's three. It looked like one. It's not. They are so, what I did was I just put, because it's easier for me to water, I put a lot of this, I just threw the seeds in there together, and I was like, you know what, whatever will be, and now I'm paying the price for it. There is a cost to everything. So I got one out, and there's two right here. I'll get those in a minute. So I go and get my little pot. Move this over. I'm gonna take some of this soil, and I'm gonna apply it. EIEGSY. Tap and enjoy gardens. So yes. Hello, how are you doing? So I'm just putting this in here, and I reuse all of the soil that came from the plant, as well as the soil that I gathered from outside and rejuvenated with some eggshells and some blood meal. So that's one done. I don't know if I have enough pots because I thought it was one and this just turned out to be three. So I really oversowed this little thing. I'm just trying to pull these things apart. They are intertwined, and I'm trying to get them apart as much as I can and get as much root as I can. And I'm also trying to clean my table as I go. I don't like a big old mess, and I won't be able to see my little plants after a while. So have you all started at putting stuff in your grow station and getting ready for the spring? Spring is on its way. My our last frost date is the end of February. Well, it's here. It's the end of February. I don't know how true that is. I looked at that because I heard someone say it the other a couple of nights ago, and I was like, no, she and I are in the same grow zone here in Texas. And I was like, what? No. And I looked, sure enough, it said February, end of February. Might be today. I said, I don't trust that. I don't go with that. I just go with my gut. And my gut is telling me, hold off a couple more weeks. I put a couple of, sacrificial plants out there, but I do not put everything out there because I will be so upset. You know how hard it is to get things going, and then you have to redo everything you did. Nope. Now it is easier for you to harden these plants off when it's cooler. I got some seeds I haven't grown what I eat. I have some seeds I haven't sown yet. Been working on filling my raised beds. Oh yeah, I saw you growing what I eat, putting those raised beds. I have a couple, Oh man, I have a couple. That's all I'm gonna say. I was mad at myself for buying them, but now that I'm thinking about it, last year I had trouble with my sweet potatoes because I have clay soil out here in Texas. I'm in central Texas on the east end of I-35, and it's all clay. And I know I left some potatoes in the ground last year. I know I did. Because I couldn't get it out of the ground. I couldn't find them. So maybe getting the raised beds will help me with that. Our last frost date in my area, Tina Johnson, our last frost date is in April 15th in my area. Can't wait. It will come sooner than you think. Did I miss anybody? Let's see. TIEGSY. No, he's just saying hi. Okay. Oh, he's just saying hi. So I'm just putting these in here quickly. And they're going to look a little floppy when you put them in there, but they'll get over it. After I put some water in there, some extra water in there, they'll spruce right back up. Brassicas are strong. Once you get them to germinate, you're good. Some of these might have to be planted together because there's a lot of them in. It is a lot. This little pile, I thought it was only a few. It's at least 12 because they're really small. Look. So I'm gonna have to start, doing what the stores do. Now I understand why when you go to the supermarket or to the big box store, sometimes there's 2 or 3 plants in there. It's because of this, because they can't get them separated properly. And they'd rather put 2 in there than, you know, have a pot with nothing in it. So now I understand. And that's what I do. When I go to the supermarket or the big box store and I see 2 or 3 plants in one of these pots, I think, instead of spending $2.98 for you know, 1 plant, I'm getting 2 or 3 of them. But they're doing it because of this, because they oversowed their seed just like I did. And they'd rather have something in there than just have a pot with a plant that didn't, you know, that didn't survive. When they're small like this, the bigger they are, the easier it is to, you know, the stronger they are. You know that they're going to probably make it. But when they're little like this one, suspect. Maybe not. Maybe it won't make it. Let me see if I'm missing anybody. New Orleans Gardener, how are you doing? I just got off your live. I was getting my soil together. That's why I was being so quiet. I was like, I got to get my soil together because I have to get these things planted. And I didn't have time today to do it. So I did it when I could. I know it's a little late, but I'm going to get as many as I can done. Little by little, I try to get it done. Little by little. You can't do everything, and I wish I could, but man, it's just like you said, plant what you can take care of, because otherwise you're just wasting your time. But apparently I didn't listen to what you said. Because every year I fuss at myself and I'm saying, why, Jamerica? Why did you do that to yourself? You know you can't take care of all this stuff. And then when I'm planting, I'm like, well, what if it don't germinate? And then it germinates. That's how it happens. But I'll get them in the ground, no guarantees. No guarantees. I'll get something. That's all I want is something. I just all you can do is the best that you can. But yeah, I see some of the, the more conservative gardeners, they just put like 1 or 2 or 3 seeds in there because they have faith. They have faith, that everything is going to germinate. Well, some of these seeds have been around for a couple of years, and I'm like, 2022 or 2021, these seeds have been around a while. They might not germinate. And then this happens. And I love them. I'm grateful that everything came up. It's just that I got to make sure that I'm able to take care of them because it's just a waste. It's a waste if you don't take care of it. A waste of your time. And, it's a living thing. You're entrusted for this stuff to grow. And if you can't take care of it, you're just going to watch it suffer. So here goes another 5 million in this little pot. In this little pot right here. I just have to pull them apart one by one. I'm just so happy that spring is around. We didn't really have a winter. We did not. Bugs are going to be out of control. I can't see yours. I have faith because I didn't like separating them. Yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now. So what I was saying was bugs are going to be out of control this year. Texas, Central Texas, we had one little cold spurt whole winter. Otherwise, it was it was maybe in the 50s. And last night, I went on patrol. I feel that way about fruit. Might bit off more than I can chew. Yeah, but you know what? I'm right behind you. I keep on buying trees, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could do this one, I could do that one. Then you look at your, your land, and you're like, But at least you put yours in pots. I put mine in the ground because I'm like, I got a couple in pots. Like, I bought, what did I buy? I forget. What a citrus. And I had so many citrus struggle over the years that I've started putting them in pots if I can. But normally I put them in the ground and pray. pray that they survive. So I feel that way about fruit trees. Yeah, but you do good with your fruit trees. You get them in. As soon as you get them out the box, you put them in a pot. Me, they might be sitting there for a little while until I can muster up the energy to get them in the ground. Netta's Nest. I'm trying to grow an abundance of onions and peppers. I put some onions in the ground, and that brings me back to what I was saying. I went on patrol last night with a flashlight because I have a snail problem. Every year, a legion of snails come to my yard to eat. Last night, I gathered up a jar of those. I was so mad. So I went out there again. I must have got quite a few because it wasn't as bad tonight. Just keep on going out there and harvesting the snails and putting them in a jar. And hope for the best. They were all over the ones that I just planted. My Black Magic Kale, my Laciano Kale, and my Swiss Chard that I just moved from the center garden to the side. It was like they were coming from that garden to this one. They followed them. I went out there and got them, though. I sure did. I had my little flashlight out. My neighbors probably think I'm crazy. So what is she doing out there with a flashlight? Collecting snails. Let's see. I'm trying to grow an abundance of onions and peppers. Oh, I have peppers. Now, peppers, man, I love, especially bell peppers, because they're so expensive now. Last time I checked with bell peppers, or with peppers in general, bell peppers especially, because I use those the most, they were 69 cents each. And they don't taste as good as the ones you grow in your garden. I got mad at myself. I get mad now when I have to buy something that I know that I can grow. I'm like, why didn't you plant more bell peppers? Now you're in the supermarket getting inferior products for a premium price. They ain't showing no mercy at the grocery store. Woo. I went and got a watermelon the other day. Now, I know it's not watermelon season. And that watermelon was tasteless. I gave it to the chickens. I couldn't eat it. I could not eat it. Tasted like nothing. So, I'm going to grow some watermelon. Probably some sugar babies. Because I had much luck with the bigger ones last year because it was so hot. And it was hard keeping stuff watered. But the sugar babies, they showed up. So, what shows up for me is what I'm going to stick to. Now, I do have that Yamato cream. And I bought another one. I guess I'll plant them since I have the seeds. But mostly it's going to be sugar babies and cantaloupe. GT Junior grows them garden. 173 a piece of bell pepper here. 173 pieces of bell pepper. Wow. 173? Oh. Is it $1.73 a piece for a bell pepper? Oh man, Alaska. I went to Alaska one time. It was a weekend. I was in the military. They sent me there. And we landed about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It was at the Air Force Army base. It's a joint base. I can't remember exactly where it was in Alaska. But the Army and the Air Force base was together. We landed at 3 o'clock. It was dark. Woke up the next morning. And I was hungry, right? I woke up because I figured, it's time for me to eat. My stomach alarm went off. It was still dark. So I waited. 9 o'clock. Still dark. Anchorage. Okay. So it was still dark at 9 o'clock. So I was like, 9 o'clock a.m. So I'm like, okay, from 3 p.m. when we landed to 9 a.m., it was still dark. So I was outside. I don't smoke. And I don't like smokers, but I was like, because I don't like, my throat closes up. It's not that I don't like smokers. It's just that I can't, my system can't handle it. So I was outside and I was afraid, right? So I looked at this little, I think it was E4 specialist. And I said, specialist, when is the sun going to come up? He looked at me and said, about 10:30. What? I heard about Alaska. It's beautiful. Alaska is beautiful. But it's beautiful in the car because I don't like cold weather. $1.73 a bell pepper. Wow. Wow. No wonder you growing stuff. That's ridiculous. That shouldn't cost that much. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, you're doing the right thing, man. You're doing the right thing, GT Jr. You're doing the right thing. I love Alaska, but I love it in the car. I'm going to try to take another trip there one day. It's expensive to get there. I want to go there one more time, but I want to go in the summertime because I hear it's even more beautiful than it is, than what I saw from in the car. Well, I froze, man. I was the lowest rankingest person, and they told me that I had to park the vehicle. That's what we say in the military. And it didn't seem like it was far. The parking lot didn't seem far from the door. Man, I didn't put my gloves on. I got out that car, and my hands went numb. I'm from New York. I should have known better. My hand went numb by the time I got to that door. Quietly guarding. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Lawn lifters, how are you doing? If I missed anybody, I am so sorry. Tina Johnson. That's insane. $1.73 a pepper. I definitely garden in Alaska. I would definitely have hydroponics going, a bunch of grow lights, because who could afford that? I know that I know that my cousin was stationed. He was in the Air Force. I know that they gave them supplements like once a year. And he had cost of living allowance and all that stuff when he was in the military. That's just something extra they give you. And all OHA and all that stuff. What is it? Overseas housing allowance. That's what OHA is. So you get supplements when you're in the military. But what about the people who actually live there? What do they do? That's a lot. GT Jr. $1,300 for what? $1,300 for cost of living allowance? Because it should be. If that's how much a bell pepper is, oh my, cola. And cola is cost of living allowance. It's like on top of what you get paid, they give you extra so that you can survive. Yeah. They got to. They have to. Because military people don't get paid enough for that. Contractors don't get paid enough for that. Nobody get paid enough for that. That's what I'm wondering, how the locals are surviving. Because how can you grow something when there's no sunlight for how much sunlight was in there that time we went? I only went there one time, and that was my experience. It's beautiful. It was cold, and then the sun didn't come up for a long, long time. So you can't grow anything because there's no sunlight. There's very little sunlight for a while. My cousin told me that the sun comes up, like it's just the exact opposite in summertime, where the sun stays up longer than it does here in the mainland. That's how people talk in Hawaii and Alaska. They call people who are on the continent the people with go to the mainland. I got $15 in cola. Quietly garden. Were you in Alaska too? You got $15 worth of cola, cost of living allowance. Shh. That's good. But it ain't good if you have to spend it trying to get food. It's just boosting your salary up to where you can survive. So plant your stuff. Go do your hydroponics. Now, I'm going to start doing hydroponics because last year we had a drought here in Texas. And the water company, they threatened me. They told me, Miss America, you're using too much water. They put a little red thing on my bill and all that. Because not only was I watering the garden, but I was sneaking and watering my foundation. Hi, J3GS. How are you doing? Welcome. I was watering my garden and I was watering the foundation of my house. And you know what? It's a good thing I did. Because, I counted 3 houses within eye distance that have foundation problems. They're all around me. Hopefully my house didn't get affected, but yeah, they threatened me. I was watering my garden. And that's another thing, you know, with planting all this stuff. That's why I plant more than I need, because some of it, if I have another summer like that, some of it is not going to make it, which is why I went back to hydroponics. Hydroponics uses less water. Now, I'm not doing a normal hydroponics. I'm going to try the crack key method. And this is this guy from Hawaii. He's called it the kind gardening. The kind mean, they talk about Hawaiian garden. That's what the Hawaiians say. The kind, you know the kind. But they changed it to the crack key method. So I'm going to try that. And you could use the crack key method hydroponics for brassicas. You could do it for tomatoes, anything. It's just an experiment. I'm just going to try it because I need to use less water. My bill was high. But it's better than getting a new foundation, because that's thousands. And then your insurance is mad at you. Did I miss it? Who is, let me see. I hope this is JC. How are you doing? I think that's what it says. JC. Hello, how are you doing? Yeah, so my growing season, my grow zone is telling me supposedly I'm in 9A. They're saying I can put stuff out. I don't know about that. I got some stuff out, but it's going to be brassicas, because I know they could take a cold. They could take a chill. If they're rooted, they'll make it. That's from experience right there. Last year, when we had the late freeze, I had some Swiss chard on that bed around the gazebo. That's where I normally plant it. And the freeze knocked them all the way to the ground. I thought they were dead because they were seedlings. They weren't mature plants. And I was like, oh man, I gotta replant all this stuff. I was so upset. And you see I'm pulling them apart gently, right? I was so upset. Move some of this stuff so y'all can see. Because I did the same thing I'm doing right now. And this takes time, effort. You're babying these plants, trying to get them to germinate. You finally got them to a substantial size, and you put them outside, and then it froze. Quietly garden. Don't put it out, Jamaica. I really think we're going to freeze again. I don't trust him. I don't trust him. I do not trust him. But last year, I trusted him. And I put my Swiss chard out here, and those things got knocked all the way down to the ground. So I was upset. I was upset, and I was fussing at myself because, should know better. I've been in Texas long enough to know better. So I looked a couple of days later, because after the freeze, it warms up miraculously, right? Like it never happened. The birds start chirping. It's springtime again. After a terrible, terrible freeze, all the citrus got knocked back. It was bad. It was a bad deal last year. And I looked down there, and the Swiss chard, the leaves started coming back up. They didn't die. They survived. Most of them survived. They came right back. So brassicas, they're different. They can take a little freeze. I'm not saying when they're this little, these little. When they're this little, they might not make it. But the ones that I put out last year were about that big. And they came back. I guess God was looking out for me. Sometimes things happen and you want to throw in the towel. You're like, man, is it worth it? I have to start all over again. Why? You think to yourself, why? Then I saw a little leaf come up. I said, oh my goodness. Is that what I think it is? First I thought it was a weed taking its place. It was a Swiss chard, came back. So sometimes your stuff will come back. And my all of my citrus came back. Now they didn't come back to the same size they were last year, but they came back. Quietly garden. Don't put it out, Jamaica. I really think it's gonna freeze again. I hope not, but and she says, I don't know. Yeah, me too. I feel the same way. I've been bit before, once bitten, twice shy. So running out of dirt, but I'm almost done. What? I am so happy. I'm almost done. I got this little it. Now this is, oh, this is only 3. Yeah, I got enough. I got enough. Just enough. I got some more soil down here, so I got enough pots and I have enough soil for once. Because the last time I ran out. It's a lot. Y'all gonna see what I did. The table is almost full. Remember the tomatoes? Well, this is what it was. It's kind of like that. Except it's pots. And I'm just stacking them up. I'm so glad I did this. I'm so glad I got out on here because I don't do lives often. I don't do lives often. I always say I'm gonna do it, and then I start doing stuff, and I'm like, well, what if the internet goes in and out? What if, all these what ifs. Devil plays mind games on you, telling you not to do stuff when you should. But today I did it. At first I watched the New Orleans Gardener though. Then I got on. I waited until she was done because I don't want to miss that show. I always get, oh, Miss Linda, I made that lemon pepper you were talking about. That was the best lemon pepper. I hope you're still here. That was the best lemon pepper chicken I have ever had in my life. That was the best. I didn't make a video on it, and I still have some because I had 1 lemon from my lemon tree. And so I was like, well, it's just 1 lemon. What I do? So I dehydrated it just like she said. And I ground it up with some pepper and a little bit of salt. And then I did my chicken. Wow. You don't know what you're missing until you know what you've been missing. I will never, ever buy lemon pepper pre-made stuff again. Never. Not if I can help it. All right, so I got these 2 big ones right here that I have to separate. See how close they are together? And I'll just tickle it. I'll try to get as much root as I possibly can. And just do your best. Do your best, forget the rest. That's all you can do is your best. So, yeah, I went out there the other night and those snails were rampant. I collected 2 jars with my little flashlight, like Inspector Gadget. And I know my neighbors saw me because they could all see into my backyard. It's like a big old football field out here. Everybody's yards is facing one another. We ain't got no privacy. Well, if you go in your house, of course. But in the backyard, everybody can see. Man, I went out there and they probably was like, what is she doing out there? And they heard, there were so many that I was stepping on them. They were everywhere. Anyway, today I didn't see as many. I went out there and collected again because I'll be doggone if I put put stuff in the ground and they come and take what they want after I did all the work. Oh, thank you for planning, Mr. America. Come on, guys, let's eat up all her stuff. She's not watching. She's in the bed asleep. What's that light? Ricky, run away. The camera. I make myself laugh. Ricky, slide over here. Oh my goodness. Oh. And the chickens, they were so happy this morning. I just flung everything in there. Have at it. Oh man, my poor plants. They were killing them. All right, I got some more soil right down here. I'm almost done. Just gonna clean off my table. I got 5 more plants, and I have 2 pots, so we're gonna double up on some of this stuff. We are gonna double up on some of this stuff. Everybody gets an opportunity to thrive. I'm an equal opportunity planner. Even if they're jumbled up and there's 3 of them in here, they're the last ones, so I'm sorry. But At least you got planted or replanted. You have more room than you had before. Man, I know. I say some crazy stuff, but that's how I could imagine them doing that. I could imagine them snails like, what's that light? There ain't supposed to be no light out here. It's 11 o'clock at night. Who is that? Why am I being picked up? Why am I in a jar? Yeah, I can see them in there fighting all night. You just move over. The jar was full. And I leave the jar cracked because I don't want them to die. I want them to be alive when I throw them in the chicken coop. So I just put the jar on there real light. These chickens, I mean, these snails are coming handy with these chickens because I'm mad. They were all over my brassicas. Anyway, they paid the cost. They saved me some. Look at these bugs are coming in here and get me. I hope I had my back door open, and I don't know what that was in a mosquito. I think that's one of those bugs that eat mosquitoes, but he flew on my hand. I did mention to you all that I'm not afraid of most bugs because I don't know. I was exposed to them. I was outside playing with all that stuff when I was a kid, and I'm the only girl. So that explains my tomboyish ways. If I offended anybody, I'm sorry, but that's what they called me. All right. I got these last little two, and they're giving me the business. I got these last little two. I don't know if y'all can see me, but I'm down to the bare minimum. And I'm going to line them up, put them in formation so y'all can see what I did. I need to make sure I cover these roots though. Okay. Uh-oh. All right. So, how long have I been on here? I got 10 people watching. I've been on here 36 minutes. Wow, time flies when you're having fun. But this is what we did together. Thank y'all guys for helping me with this because this motivated me to keep on going. Sometimes I just stop. So I have 4. Let me put this down here. I gotta sweep the floor again. Sweep and mop. And I'm not never ending battle. Make sure I don't clip off any of my leaves. 8. 12. Can y'all see me? Move this over back a little bit. 16. 20. 24 pots. And I have I've double planted in some of them. So I did 24 in 36 minutes. I think that's pretty good. Now I'm going to water these in. I'm going to put it over there with the rest of I'm going to put it on my grow station with the rest of the plants. And I got them in. I'm going to keep them alive and make sure that they get rooted and they develop their roots and they stay alive. Because some of them, the reason why I plant so many is because in my mind, I know that some of them are not going to make it. Some of them are not going to make it. But most of them will. In my case, because every day I'm over there messing with them. I'm over there messing with them and checking to make sure that it's not being infested or with bugs and whatnot. Because I got the that gnat problem under control for now. I started putting the mosquito bits in the bottom of the container, and then I started watering with it. And it's not as bad. There's still a few of them around. It's going to take a while, but it was really bad. It's not that bad anymore. So, hey, I'm happy. I'm thankful for the help that you guys gave me. So, this is Jamerica with Jamerica Life. I've changed my name to Jamerica Life if you're looking for me on the internet. And this is the planting of the Black Magic Kale and my Swiss Chard. I hope you all have a good night, and I'll see you on the next one, all right? Bye.